Welcome to Releasing Trauma, a Survivor's Podcast. I am your host, Tracy Osborne. I am a survivor of emotional bullying, rape, sexual assault, domestic abuse, and grief. After losing my husband in 2019, I set off on a new adventure to help other women release their trauma and create a life they can cherish. Each week, I will feature a guest expert or survivor to share their stories, tips, wisdom, and more. The goal is so that you can take away even just the smallest nugget of information you can use in your life right now to make a change, and to remind you that you're not alone. There is life after trauma, and you can move from victim to thriver and create a life you can cherish. Hi, welcome back to the show. I am your host, Tracy Osborne. With me today is Veronica Villanueva. We are going to talk about her story of surviving and thriving from stage 4 cancer. So Veronica, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Tracy, thank you for having me. And it's an honor to be able to speak to you and your audience about a very important topic.
Yes, it is extremely important. So I am so grateful that you are here. Let's start off. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, as you're saying, you're grateful that I'm here. I'm so grateful to be alive.
Right?
I think I just hit my microphone there, but it's because my story started with doctors, 5 to be exact, telling me that I had less than 6 months to live. That was 5 years ago, this coming September. So I was given the diagnosis of stage 4 incurable lung cancer, and prognosis of less than 6 months. Within 48 hours of my diagnosis, I dropped to 89 pounds from 111, lost all my muscles, and basically my body cancer started taking over my body. My upper body was plagued with tumors, and I had scans every quarter after that. All tumors started either reducing or disappearing with all subsequent scans. So within 9 months, I was diagnosed in September of 2016, and June of 2017, I was free of tumors. I could never say I'm cured. I can only say no evidence of disease. So June of 2017 was my first NED, no evidence of disease, all the tumors gone from my body. That's using awesome. Natural treatments, obviously using lifestyle as medicine, because it's the lifestyle that created the disease in my body, I believe.
I fully agree with that. I mean, I've heard from many nutritionists and naturopaths that food is our medicine. I think it was Socrates that said that. Let your food be thy medicine.
Yes. Let food be thy medicine be food. Yes, that's as well. Yes, and food is one of them. It's everything that you do in life, everything that you consume, and we become such big consumers, right? So we also consume bad things. We also, more bad things these days than good things, unfortunately, just because of our modern lifestyle, right? Our life has changed. It's not, I don't know how old you are, Tracy, but I'm going to be 54 next month, in a few days, actually, in a few weeks. And I can tell you it's life and the world isn't the same. I mean, it's constantly changing, but I don't believe we've taken care of our planet. So therefore it's rebelling. It's mad at us.
Right. Absolutely. It is. I'll be 50 in February.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Life does not have to end at 50. In fact, it started for me. I was diagnosed at 49, and the doctors with their diagnosis, I wasn't even supposed to turn 50. Are you kidding me? God, had I listened to them, I wouldn't be here today.
So tell us what you did. I mean, how did you go from hearing this diagnosis that you've got 6 months left to live to beating it, basically.
You know, one of the most frustrating thing is when people expose a problem, but they don't help expose any solution.
Right.
And in this case, I was given the news of the most devastating news I think that you can receive, at least one of them. And what goes through my mind is you don't give up. You know, you accept the diagnosis, but you don't accept the prognosis.
Right.
Because I don't think the doctors were lying to me, and they weren't. There's lab results that prove that they were right, but they were only right with perhaps the diagnosis, but not the prognosis, right? So, and that's where my mission starts. My mission starts with, first, I'm alive. When you dodge a bullet as big as cancer, stage 4, when doctors, not 1, but 5 are telling you you're not going to make it, and you've healed yourself, it becomes a responsibility to, turn around and help the rest of the world going through what you've gone through. And cancer has become an everyday disease. There's a silent epidemic of people sick, and it's being really caused by our inflammatory lifestyle.
Our lifestyle, our environment.
Yeah.
We live in a toxic world.
Yes, from A to Z, the air we breathe. So we have to do a lot these days to make sure we protect ourselves from all the trauma of just living. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not a Debbie Downer, but, the things I know, the things I'm more aware of these days, it's sometimes hard to accept because the world was never like that. But because of all the things that we've done, what we think we did better, but actually, I would like to argue against that. So, there's always good and there's always bad. Life is full of duality. And unfortunately, the life that we've created is making us sick.
It is. So how do we stop that?
Well,
Western medicine isn't necessarily the answer.
Right. So the reason why I said all of that is I think the main point is bringing awareness, which you're doing, I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Right? It's education. It's poking people into thinking not everything they consume. That means eating, drinking, reading, people you hang out with, your work environment, all of that has a potential to make your life empowering, or it can also poison your life. So what I would like for people to understand and also become aware of is you do have control of how you live your life. When you start outsourcing your life is when we get into trouble. So when you ask, how do we? Well, first we claim back our lives. We stop giving it to other people to take care. Right. Because there's nobody else better than us equipped to take care of ourselves. But we're completely disconnected from that. We don't even own the fact that we can take care of ourselves. So the first thing is loving yourself. Loving yourself enough so that you want to take care of yourself. When you love yourself and you want to take care of yourself, you're going to be very protective of, what you put in your mouth, in your body, what you put in your mind, who you invite into your home, who you invite into your life, what books you read, what movies you watch, what, television shows you watch, how you spend your time. So all of this then becomes, when you raise awareness, it starts to make sense that when you do this, this happens. When you don't do this, this happens. And most of the time, it's not by adding more things in our lives, it's actually by eliminating, replacing some of the behaviors that don't benefit us or that don't really do anything for us but harm us. So people who come to expose problems and issues, that's wonderful, but let's try and help the other people too, or propose some sort of solution. I say, start by the simplest thing, which is find an integrative medicine doctor, or social media there's so many people that are talking about health. Get just, or YouTube, Google, and make sure that you are following and your resources are of quality, right? Mm-hmm. And people are embodying wellness. And that's the thing, because people are always nowadays, just because you eat kale doesn't mean you're healthy.
True.
Right? Just because you have an avocado toast every day doesn't mean you're healthy. So you want to make sure that you really do follow, and that the books that you read are of quality as well. Because one thing I've learned after cancer is there are a lot of things in life and that you shouldn't be consuming, but because it's there, because society has approved it, and we've kind of, like I said, outsourced our approval. Okay, well, if society approves it, then it should be okay. It's not. So what is it? Stop sleepwalking through life. Wake up, connect with everything that you do every day. When you eat, know that you're fueling your body. You're fueling it with, beautiful quality ingredients that are full of nutrients, that it's going to help you thrive throughout the day, right? Exercise, same thing. Be aware of what it's doing to you. Sleep. Know that you need to sleep in order to heal. And it's not just people with cancer. It's anything. We all need healing, from exercising to our gut, and from just our days of stress, the inflammation that's created by just having a stressful life. So, those are real basic things. And then you get into then you start to feel good. Once you start to feel good, it's addicting. So then you want to know more. And that's where education, again, you can continue to grow, and you can go as deep as you want. And that's what happened to me. Is for me, there was no choice. I saw it as not having any choice. I wanted to live. And what does that mean? It means do everything and anything I have to do to live. So I went on education mode. I studied, I gained as much knowledge. I studied cancer, and come knowledge comes execution, right? Otherwise, right, it stays in your head. So you need to back it up with actions. And that's why first I had to decide to be alive. I wanted to live. That is still a decision one must make. Doctors should not make that for you, because it's very important that you make it, so that you internalize that, because it is very important in your healing stage. Then you take action towards being well. And I name them: eating right, sleeping, doing everything. I did everything natural. Because doctors, I couldn't even do chemo. I couldn't do radiation. It was all over my body. I wasn't qualified to do that. So in many ways, it was a blessing. I didn't have to be tempted to ask myself, should I or should I not? It was not an option. So the only way was to peel through the layers and be your own medical investigator, which is what integrative medicine really is about. It's about investigating medically what's happening in your body and going to the root cause, not superficially on the surface. I'm going to give a quick definition of integrative versus Western. Is that okay?
Yes, I was going to ask you for that.
Okay, so the simplest way, and I tell my clients and people I help, the difference is, let's say you see a tree and the foliage of that tree is yellow. It's turning yellow. And so Western medicine doctor would walk up to the tree and look at the leaf and would probably go back with a paint and color it green. Okay? Mm-hmm. An integrative medicine doctor. So that's very symptom, right? Oh, it's yellow. It should look like green. Let me get some paint and color it green. Okay, I'm simplifying it, but
right.
But the thing is the same. So integrative medicine doctor would go up to the tree, look at it, look at the leaf, feel it, then walk up closer, go down, start playing with the roots, looking at the roots, seeing if it's dry, the pH balance, all of that. He's investigating. Mm-hmm. He'll come with his tools. to measure the pH balance of this tree. So the point is, when you have a chronic illness, which in this case most people do, you would like to have an integrative medicine doctor, because Western medicine doctors are not equipped to go deeply and investigate what is the root cause of your illness. Now, if you get into a car accident and you break a leg, you need surgery, you need to get stitched up, I wouldn't go to an integrative medicine doctors. I would go to a Western medicine doctor because he can stitch you up and give you antibiotics if you want to take that. So know the difference. Western medicine doctors don't have the time. I don't even believe they are trained to necessarily go that deep, because their focus isn't about natural healing.
Yeah, it's about
pharmaceutical.
What can I give you a pill for? Yeah. Can I give you a pill for that?
Exactly. Let's mask the symptoms, but I don't really want to go into what is causing that. And so when you think about that, when our medical system is that, so cumulatively, I'm 53. So over the years, I've been taking antibiotics. That's really not addressing the underlying cause of the issue. We are once again using the pill to silence how our body is talking to us. Now, the body has no means to communicate to us, because we remove the symptoms. And that's dangerous, because we still have the illness. Now we've quieted down the symptoms. So think about 5 years, 10 years. Then you get your diagnosis. That's what happens.
Yeah. You shush it for so long, and then it finally just kind of explodes and screams at you, "No, I'm sick."
Yeah. So instead of stage 1, stage 2, it's stage 4 right away. It's severe right away, which is what happened to me. And by the way, I'm not saying that exactly is what happens to people, but for the most part, yes. And for me, it was a lifestyle. I suppressed my emotions. I was in a very unhappy marriage. And the trauma of, as you know, from being a child to being conditioned that you stay in a marriage because you have children. As a woman, I did that because I made a commitment to have 3 children. So I stayed until my last one started college. Well, the body keeps track of that. And the body doesn't, it's given me probably a lot of chance to heal, but I continued to stay. And, my life, everything didn't change. I continued to live a very inflammatory, unhappy, suppressed life. So of course, eventually I would get sick. Something triggered it, my divorce. So all of that, it's, I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Yeah. The body can only take so much, and the body wants to heal. The body wants to be healthy. It's what we do to our body that keeps us from being healthy.
Yeah, that is true. I know that for me, when I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, eating properly and, getting water and exercise and all that, I feel amazing, like I could take on the world. But when I turn back to the junk food diet, then I feel sluggish and tired, and my body's just like, what are you doing? It's like putting sugar in the gas tank in your car.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And imagine that's just physical. The same way food has a way to weigh us down, imagine the contrary. And that's where I focus, because I see on a daily basis what bad food, a disempowering lifestyle does to many people. Why would you want to do that to yourself if you love yourself, if you're committed to you evolving and you growing? It doesn't line up with what you're saying, which is, I love myself. If you love yourself, you won't allow any harm into your body, into your mind, into your life.
That is so true.
And not being apologetic about it, and not being embarrassed to stand for yourself. And I think that's another issue is I was embarrassed. Look, I was scared. I mean, I had to wait until my children left for college. What was the matter with me? Like, I did not matter. My being did not matter, and that is so wrong because you betray yourself. That I didn't honor myself for so long. Never doing that again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, Veronica, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about, your story and all of that. This has been fantastic. How can we find you online?
You can find me. I am on social media. So I have Instagram, the Veronica Villanueva. And then I also have my cannabis and CBD line for wellness, alivewellthrive.com. And then, my name as The Grace of Cancer is my book. You can buy it through Amazon. And, if you want, I write a lot and I have a lot of free resources. And go to my website, veronicavillanueva.com, and, start your day. Start feeling amazing. Don't delay it anymore. There's so much you can do to feel really joyful and healthy.
I love it. It's time to live.
That's right.
It's time to thrive and not just survive.
It's time to actually live a life that is alive because you're doing things to feel well. And there's no reason that you're not going to thrive if you do all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Listeners, you. I'll have all those links in the show notes as always. Head over to releasingtraumapodcast.com if you're listening from one of our partner stations, and all of Veronica's contact information and links to her book and her wellness website. Everything will be there for you. So thank you for listening. We'll talk to you in the next show.